Let's settle for the news now, and in our first story, the independent power producers, IPPs, are forcefully demanding government pay 30% of debt owed its members or risk the national grid being shut off indefinitely after June the 30th. Now, the latest threat comes in the wake of government's failure to commence payment negotiations with the IPPs. Currently, government owes the IPPs over $1.4 billion out of a $2 billion total energy sector debt. A couple of weeks ago, Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Dubik Mahama, told Joy News that his outfit was leading talks with the independent power producers to avoid a possible shutdown of the power plants.
Had very, very productive discussions, and they would not go off with all confidence. I would say ignore, because we do owe them. So I would say ignore, but what I'll say is that the conversations are far advanced to avert something like this. And so I can say with all confidence that it won't come to that. There are a few NDAs in place, but let me give you a small whole. We are trying to find a way to make sure that the money expected of us to pay is reasonable and is within our reach. Because what IMF is saying that ring-fence legacy debt, but you have to stay current. If those excess and idle capacity charges are still existent, we cannot be current, because we will still be punching above our weight limit. So we need to find a way with all of them at the table to agree on an amount or a tariff that halts these excess payments for a longer period of time, and then we can consider it in a different form for them. In fairness, everybody has a different way of how they set up the plant. Yeah. Some of them self-financed, so they don't really have lenders that are disturbing them. Others have lenders that are disturbing them. As I said, everybody's problem is different.
Well, the IPPs, however, discount such negotiations and that have been had with government. Akakpo is CEO of the Chamber of IPPs.
We've not received any substantive payment to sustain our operation or our pressing obligations that we need to fulfill to our stakeholders. So I can say we've not made any improvement in our efforts to have our arrears paid.
Initially, we were told that the ECG is supposed to lead some negotiations with you to do some monthly payment to defray the debt over time. Has that negotiation started so far?
No, we've not had any negotiation in that regard. None of the IPPs have been engaged in any conversation or discussion regarding that proposal. Besides, if they talk about monthly payment, our bills have to be settled within a specific time frame that we call a credit period. Usually, we can say 40 to 45 days. So we expect periodic payments as and when revenues are collected to be disbursed. And we expect that by the end of those credit periods, the monthly bill or invoice will have been settled fully. But that is not the case. So I don't think it requires any new negotiation in that regard.
Does that mean that you haven't heard anything officially from government since you put out that notice?
Nothing officially from government, except for some interventions that has been made by the World Bank with the Ministry of Finance. What we heard unofficially was that government says they do not have that money to pay. So I can say that is the only feedback we heard unofficially.
What was the World Bank's proposal?
I cannot tell exactly what the proposal was. But they were just sharing concern about the situation and with the assurance to engage government. But actually, that is the feedback we got.
With all of this playing, will our lights be on after 30th June?
Definitely. If there is no remedial action, I cannot guarantee light from 30th June.
Which will mean that almost half of the power that feeds homes and industries in Ghana would go off. Is there anything else government can do to avoid the lights going off?
The ball is still in the court of government or ECG. We have made a demand. Actually, they should show a good faith and say that, looking at the condition at stake, can we offer you 20%? And we have always cooperated all this well. They've not shown any good faith towards our demand, but our demand is purely based on what we need to solve our challenges. There has not been any counter proposal from them.
Well, still on that beat, former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor is asking government to retrofit simple cycle thermal power plants into combined cycle ones. Debt is crippling the country's power sector, with the IPPs threatening to shut down their plants if the government does not pay their $1.5 billion debt. Speaking to Joy News, the Pro East MP argued the conversion of existing simple cycle plants into combined cycled ones would increase availability capacity at a lower cost to enable the country export power through the West African power pool. Dr. Donkor has therefore admonished the government to cease lamentation over excess capacity charges and lead the way through policy in ensuring export of power.
This discussion to efficiency. There is the market in Burkina Faso. There is increased demand from Mali and Niger. We are unable to meet the demands there, partly because the belief is that our power is slightly more expensive than from other places. But for some of them, they are potentially a captive market. If we drive efficiency, the world will be our oyster. Let's move the discussion from the pedestrian and let's go to the thorough. Let's look at thorough arguments, thorough discussions. Let's look at progressive improvement in efficiency. How many simple cycle plants do we have? Cal Power is also a simple cycle plant. We should be providing the incentive and moving towards combined cycle plants. AXA. So that is, from the generation side, that is where I want the Ministry of Energy, Energy Commission, and all the other stakeholders. That should be our thrust, moving towards generation efficiency.
Now, on our next story, an Accra High Court has granted a request by the NDC's James Jachikwason to be allowed to miss court proceedings on Friday. This will give him room to embark on his final round of campaigning ahead of Tuesday's by-election. His legal team has, in the last few days, made a strong case for the suspension of the trial, insisting the poll is a national assignment. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akakpo reports.
The legal arguments on Wednesday centered mainly around some comments that the Attorney General had made, which the lawyers of Mr. Kwabena considered to be inappropriate, and they put that before the court. The AG defended himself and insisted that those comments he made were within law. The court, he had asked the court to actually strike out some documents that had been presented making reference to those statements, but the court disagreed and admitted them, after which it heard arguments on whether or not it should put the case on hold. The court took the view that it was going to deliver its ruling on that particular matter on June 23. A request was made by Mr. Chikata that Mr. Kwabena be allowed to excuse himself on that particular day. Another request that the court also granted. And so the court will be sitting on June 23 to deliver its ruling in respect of whether the trial should be put on hold. But the NDC's legal directorate, led by Abraham Amaliba, insists that they believe that the AG is conducting himself in a manner that is inconsistent with the law.
Adjourned to 23rd, which means that tomorrow we are not coming to court, but on the 23rd, the court, in its own wisdom, dispense of his presence in court, which means that effectively he is supposed to come after the elections. And so clearly, we want to be thankful to the court, the judge, and to say that we are most grateful for the ruling given to us today because we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. You notice that Mr. Chikate's supplementary affidavit was supposed to give to the court a plethora of conduct that the Attorney General has displayed, which conduct does not sit well with our legal profession. And you notice that he quoted the Legal Profession Act, which does not allow for comments such as what the Attorney General engaged in. And so the Attorney General's conduct was an issue before the court. And I'm happy the senior Charles Chikata took him to the cleaners.
Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah strongly disagrees with this particular view.
It's, the court adjourned the matter to the 23rd. And when it comes to adjournment, it is the duty of the court to determine when it's convenient to hear a matter. And the court also made an order dispensing with the presence of or attendance of the accused person. The judge has made an order. We are bound by the orders of the court. On the 23rd, we'll be in court. And it's sending a very dangerous precedent that we can use any means to frustrate processes. But we are cool with it. We'll be back on Friday. Then we'll come back and hear the matter.
I mean, in terms of the comments that happened in court today, it appears they have some serious issues with the conduct of the Attorney General. I mean, how is the office treating these allegations of prejudice that is being leveled against the AG?
They've never laid any basis. There's nothing to hold on to. It's being made out of frustration and nothing else. The AG has done absolutely nothing wrong. His comments have been on point, and if they think something on top has been done by the AG, they know what to do.
One individual who had wanted to lead the opposition NDC as its flag bearer, Kojo Bonsu, was here to support Mr. Kwesi, and he says what is happening in the court is setting a bad precedent.
I think this is totally unfair, and we're going through the rules of the law. We can't be coming here daily as the man is campaigning. Anyway, let's see what happens on Friday. And I think the judge did very well. Said we should just rest and come in on Friday. And I think we are watching. It's precedent that they are trying to set. And it's going to be a problem in this country. But I believe that justice must prevail.
So the case is back in court on June 23. Mr. Kwesi believes it offers him the opportunity to go about with his campaign. Kwesi, are you satisfied with the outcome?
Well, I mean, it's already been expressed, so I'm not going to comment further.
But you are ready to get onto the campaign grounds now?
I'm leaving court and going right down to the grounds, yes.
I mean, so far in terms of how it's going, you are confident that you are going to win the seat once again?
Already won.
He's going to win. He's going to win.
For Joy News from the Law Courts Complex, my name is Joseph Agyei.
Let's talk health now. The Ministry of Health says it is committed to including mental health treatment in the National Health Insurance Scheme's benefit package. Deputy Minister of Health, Agyei Saini, made this known at the Mental Health Authority Stakeholders Performance Annual Meeting in Accra.
Data from the World Health Organization states that 650,000 people are suffering from severe mental health disorder, and a further 2,166,000 are suffering from a moderate to mild mental disorder. Deputy Minister for Health, Mahama Agyei Saini, revealed that the Ministry of Health has requested data and decisions from the Mental Health Authority and stakeholders to determine the possibility and impact of adding mental health treatment to the National Health Insurance Scheme benefit package. He indicates that this aligns with the Akufo-Addo-led government's efforts at meeting the universal health coverage that targets and covers all Ghanaians.
I have the belief that the government is committed and we are going to do more funding. We are beginning to look at mental health in relationship with national health insurance. And you see that's why we brought the National Health Insurance Financial Controller. At the end of the day, they will discuss and see how national health insurance will be collaborated to take care of mental health patients as well. National health insurance is going to take care of mental health patients and other activities, so that at least the funding expanding, and with government support and donor support, stakeholder support, philanthropic support, churches and everything, if they all come together, this issue of financial constraints will be eased for now.
Chief Executive Officer of Mental Health Authority, Professor Penaman Apo, In an interview with Joy News, stated that one of her visions in becoming the new CEO of the authority is to strengthen collaboration between stakeholders and the authority to improve mental health in the country.
The vision for the authority during my tenure for the next 8 years or so, we're looking at collaboration being one of the main pillars in our vision, and we want to improve the collaboration with the other agencies. So we're looking at Ghana Health Services, we're looking at CHAG, we're looking at even the universities and all other agencies that can help us achieve our goal, basically. And our major goal, our main goal, if our basic goal, should I say, is to bring mental health care to the doorstep of the ordinary Ghanaian. That's what we're trying to do. So we think that instead of all the agencies working individually, or what we call in silos, if we come together and collaborate, then we would have a better effect in providing these mental health needs for mental health care for the people of Ghana.
The stakeholders' engagement will give the authority an opportunity to review their performance against their set targets, major achievements and challenges which had an impact on their operations during the year. For Joy News, Jacqueline Ansma Yeboah.
Now, the National Coordinator of the Ghana Boundary Commission, Major General Emmanuel Kotia, has revealed his outfit is seeking more funding to help it support government's efforts in mitigating the challenges that exist in border communities by providing them with basic social amenities. He spoke when some students of the Royal Danish Defence College paid a familiarization visit to the Commission. The students lauded the Commission's work, saying they were impressed with its work to secure the maritime and land boundaries of the country.
The aim of the visit by the Royal Danish Defence College was for the students to familiarize themselves with the mandate and activities of the Commission since its operationalization in 2021. It also formed part of a series of engagements the delegation from RDDC is undertaking towards exploring issues of marginalization, segmentation, security and development in West African countries. A member of the team, Lisbeth Pedersen, says she's impressed with how the Ghana Boundary Commission is deliberately addressing security matters differently and targeting specific issues.
Well, I've been very impressed from what I've seen today, also because it takes time to talk to us and tell us about the security issues that Ghana is facing. I've been very impressed with the way that you are dealing with the issues that you have here, especially on the boundary protection issues. The fact that you are deliberately addressing security matters differently and targeting issues specifically. There are no common solutions to any problems, but you are addressing the very root causes of the problems, and I'm very impressed with that.
A worker at the Royal Danish Defence College, Morten Jorgensen, said he's amazed about how the Commission has worked to ensure deep cooperation among Ghana and her neighbours.
And it has been an absolute pleasure to come and visit this border commission. And I'm very impressed to see that in only 12 years, 13 years, you've managed to come from nothing to having a functioning border commission, working together with all the local countries in the region, establishing cooperation, trying to solve the many issues that can be regarding these boundaries, the delimitation of countries, and how you're specifically pointing down to several solutions to the exact problems, not just one big solution to all the problems, but the exact solutions to all the minor problems that you can find regarding these boundaries.
A lecturer at the college, Professor Thomas Mandrop, said Major General Emmanuel Kotia gave a really important insight to the students.
So he gave a really important insight to the students, and then insight to the potential donor countries on how we could actually cooperate on these issues and maybe secure for a joint and better future for everybody.
National Coordinator of the Ghana Boundary Commission, Major General Emmanuel Kotia, briefed the team on the work of the Commission to protect Ghana's land and maritime boundaries. He says the Commission is also working to support government in mitigating some of the challenges that exist in deprived border communities in the country.
They don't have water. What we do is construct boreholes, and I can tell you that we started making inquests and we've done a number of research in it, and we have targeted certain places. I can tell you happily that the ECOWAS Commission is currently sponsoring a program in the Volta region for us to rehabilitate a clinic, which is very good. Ghana government, as a result of our work, has released some money for us to construct a road to a deprived area which do not have any roads. People could only access them by motorbikes. So that is what we're doing, and we're seeking for more funding to be able to intervene in those areas.
Director in charge of policy planning and programs at the Commission, Sarah Ekuba, has been providing further details on the purpose of the visit by the delegation from the Royal Danish Defence College. Yes.
Well, government's failure to fix deplorable roads in the Shai Osudoko district of the Greater Accra region is a ticking time bomb. This is the message traditional authorities and residents of Doyumu, Kodiabe, Asibi, and other communities want to put across, having been neglected for decades. The residents on Tuesday protested the bad nature of their roads. Tema correspondent Kwame Yanka has the rest of the story.
Despite attempts by some individuals to have the demonstration cancelled, the disgruntled residents were resolute. Clad in red and black, the protest started at Doyumu, then to Kojabe under police protection. From there, the protesters returned to the Doyumu stretch which connects the Tema-Akosombo highway. They then decided to block the highway for about 10 minutes, obstructing traffic to express their displeasure, but the police managed to restore flow of traffic. According to them, the highway, construction of Tema Port and other national projects have been done with the very quarry products from the area. Blonya Tomache at Doyumu, Nene Anoba Saswaku II says their cry to have their road network put in good shape have fallen on deaf ears.
For about 24 years now, our roads are in bad condition. We've sounded this to the government several times. They've all turned their ears back on us. It's unfortunate when you board a vehicle from Kofodia coming to Doyumu. When they get to Agomeda, they tell you the road network is very bad, so they are not passing through Doyumu. And from Kofodia to Tema, the shortest route is when you fly from Latte straight through Doyumu, then you are on the Akosombo highway. We as people of Shai here, the whole country with quarry products, we are number one. We supply almost half of the country with granite stones, which they use in constructing our roads. Why is it that they've turned their deaf ears on us? Today, when you want to board a vehicle from Doyumu to Ashaiman, they will tell you because of the road, they've increased the fares.
Unit Committee Chair of Adam Electoral Area at Kojabe, Samson Tetebiante says they deserve better, having over 50 quarry companies in the area.
There are over 54 quarries at the stretch of the Tema-Akosombo highway, which belongs to the people of Shai. It is being mined every day, exported to different continents in the world to construct their roads. Why are we being neglected? We are pleading with the government. This is not what they promised us during the 2020 elections campaign. They met us, promised us that if we turn MPP in power, they were going to fix our roads. Up to now, we've seen nothing done about it. We are pleading with the government to come to our aid. It is time for the youth of Shai to stand up and fight for our rights, fix our roads. Else, in the next general election, which is 2024, we are going to stand against them. That's no road, no vote. No road, no vote.
Youth leader from Doyumu, Prosper Kwame Tete, listed some daily challenges they face on the road.
The deteriorating infrastructure has resulted in significant hardship for the residents, commuters, and businesses alike. We are confronted daily with a multitude of problems that negatively impact our lives, including safety hazards, impaired mobility and transportation, increased travel time and transportation costs, negative impact on agriculture and trade, limited access to emergency services. We, therefore, earnestly request your immediate attention to this matter and appeal that the roads of Shai be constructed in shortest possible time.
These areas will not take part in the 2024 general election if the roads are not fixed.
Now, see, asthmatic patients, but pray or program, and I'm a foot hunting. And power and your futroi says I trust Nana
Kwame Yankes reports for Joy News.
And that's how we wrap the news this morning. But stay with us because the news review is up next with the man, Sammy. We'll be joined by him from the Parliamentary Network Africa. We'll be right back.